Hello everyone, this is Sam from Digital Music Class, and these are supplemental lessons that will not be graded or take the place of classroom assignments. These are merely supplemental lessons for students to continue their learning during school closure. In our video lessons, we continue learning how to construct a song based on moods. Um, Today's focus is hype. This mood is based similar to the previous lesson, aggressive, but this is even more energetic and has more of upbeat and faster tempo. As an example, I'll be constructing a song based on a genre called drum and bass. This style of music consists on fast tempo and heavy energetic drums along with loud distorted sound designs. So let's get started. I have loaded up some samples here. I have gotten some pads and drum loops and all these nice stuff. So let's go ahead and preview some of these sounds. Let's go ahead and start with the very top one. This is a pad and has more than just pad. It has more of like soundscape and effects and texture built in it. So let's go ahead and hear preview the sound. So it's pretty sounding very serious. And let's go ahead and check out some other sounds that we have here. Most of these I've chosen in a similar key. Some of these loops will come with a key, just like so. Like there's the BPM as well as with the key, just like so. Most of these have keys on them where I can actually combine them together. So because this is like a tutorial video and like a lesson video, I'm already going to use loops because I feel like this way I can achieve things a lot faster and get a fast approach. So here we go. Let's see some of the other sounds here. Some bass design. Another bass design. Third bass. Several more. So we're not exactly going to use all of it, but I just want to see what fits and what doesn't. So we'll be experimenting with it. So before we get started with bass designs and all those things, let's go ahead and start with the drums. Let's go ahead and bring this up all the way to the very top. Let's go ahead and rename these. Okay, I have named these accordingly, and now let's go ahead and make a groove real quick. So I'm going to move the kicks on the very top. Oh, and the BPM is 172. Usually drum and bass usually consist on between, I don't know, lowest of like 165 BPM to all the way up to like 180 if anything. But for the safe bet, this is like the common BPM to stay in within a drum and bass realm. So let's go ahead and make a pattern. So I'm going to take some of these drum patterns and basically formulate my own. Take that a little bit of sample, cut it. Going to turn on the metronome. Take this one, manipulate a little bit. Okay, that's definitely something. That's good enough for us to get started here. don't want to spend too much time, more than like 5 minutes on drum groove. And now we can just tighten this up by turning down the hi-hats a little bit. Cool, that sounds pretty tame, so let's group that together as drums. Now for the fun part, what we do is we solo the drums, and basically we're going to solo each sound to see how they fit together. Seems pretty aggressive, but not entirely sure how that would fit together, so let's go and hear other sounds. That one's nice, not too up in your face. Nice. I really enjoy that one. I think that might be the main bass. Huh. Let's go ahead and track this a little bit. Very cool. So I'm going to mess with this bass sound. Let's go ahead and try to create some different patterns just other than the groove that it gives us. What I like to do is I like to just kind of shift around the sample itself and just keep pressing on control and then space bar to keep playing the sound. So I'm going to create a new track here and just kind of paste it and just work around, hearing what sounds best and just basically dragging it downward. Very nice. So I just made some like bass groove here, so that sounds really good along with the beat. So maybe now let's find something else that may complement this bass line. This one sounds really good together, so maybe this is the one that I want to use. Let's go and make a new track and just kind of sit there, and we can just kind of go easy on that bass line, and then let's try to hear that together. Okay, now we have some really good groove here. Now let's go ahead and copy and paste this over to the right. And now with this pad, we're going to move this a little bit forward here. Maybe we can use the first part of it. Let's put some hats in. so that far we had really good ones. So maybe we can just extend this drop a little bit more. Alright, so far we have the intro a little bit and then the hi-hat that leads up to the drop. And here's the rest of the drop. I do want to spice up the snare a little bit, so let's go ahead and throw a saturator in there. And actually, you know what, let's go ahead and throw an overdrive, which is a distortion plugin, and it definitely can make a good spice to the snares here. That's pretty good. Let's add a little bit of saturator here. That should probably do the trick. Let's add some glue compressor. So that definitely would add some really nice dynamics to the snares. Let's do that to the kicks real quick. That's pretty good. Maybe on this one too. Alright, so I don't want to leave the bass designs just that way, so I'm just going to maybe distort things a little bit more. Put some reverb on and some auto filter. Alright, now I'm going to apply some of these sound alteration to some others, like this one. up the momentum a little bit. Maybe we can do some like kick rolls here. Now what we're gonna do is maybe like make some of these volume down so they're not just sounding so foreign away from each Okay, so I would like to go a little bit more deeper into sound designs and how I can alter more of these sounds, but it seems that we're kind of running out of time. But to focus on the mood perspective, what we did here is to create some very energetic drum elements here. We've taken sound loops and we've chopped them up into different pieces to make it more official and original sounding, as well as with building the arrangements around the whole chunk of this drop right here. And we've used multiple different types of sound of like the bass line to keep it as a whole. And so using these three sounds here, we have completed the bass. And along with that, now we're going to add in the locators. So the intro, oops, typo, intro, and build, and drop. Usually, usually intro and builds are longer in more of like modern day drum and bass, but just to show these lessons, I'm going to just kind of briefly just make it very short. So yeah, the drop happens and there's a lot of good content happening, and after the 16 bars, it switches ideas over to a different pattern and it continues on. So if you were to write these are the patterns that you should follow, and at the end of the result you should have something that just switches back and forth between the bass and overall just make it sound very fun to you. So overall, let's listen to the whole beat. Before we do that, I think I want to do something with these hi-hats. Alright, there we go. So now let's listen to from the build. Oops, sorry, I don't know what happened there, but it just kind of turned off all the sounds, so I'll start it back from the drop. Alright, so that's the overall of the mood hype. We're going to be focusing on mellow slash moderato. Until next time, have a good one.